The importance of social interaction. I believe that a lot of us, we are changing the way of our social dynamics. Like a lot of us are avoiding socializing with people because we want to be alone. We want to be in solitude. We want to be by ourselves so we're able to introspect and not feel um, the stress that could potentially come with interacting with people. But I feel like we need to have a balance between the two. We need to have a balance with socializing with people, and we need to have a balance with being by ourselves, because if you do more of the other, for example, if we are more to ourselves compared to being out in social situations, we lose the ability to socialize with people. It is a skill that you have to continue improving upon, because if you lose the skill, it's gonna put you in very, very awkward situations. It's gonna potentially not able you may not be able to progress forward in life, depending on whatever career you're trying to pursue. If you want to network with people, it's important to know how to socialize with people. But on the other end, if you're socializing too much with people and you're not giving yourself enough time to be by yourself, you're putting yourself at a risk of not finding who you are as a person. You're not giving yourself enough time to figure out who you are, and you're basing off your validations, and you're basing off what others are doing, and you are doing whatever they're doing. So you're conforming to society sometimes. And that happens naturally, over a period of time. If you hang around with the same group of people, it's been known that you end up becoming like them eventually. If you're surrounded by people who are working in the IT industry, in the tech industry, chances are you're gonna follow that path because you hang around with them all the time. If you hang around with people who smoke all the time, chances are you're gonna be smoking. If you hang around with people who like to party, who like to go out, because you don't want to feel left out, you're eventually going to join them. The way that people speak, the way your social circle speaks, you're going to end up speaking like them, or they'll end up speaking like you. It could go both ways. But there has to be a balance, because we need to perfect our skill of being by ourselves, and we need to perfect our skill of socializing with people. Those two are very, very important dynamics that we need to really put emphasis upon. And for me, what I find is that I do 60/40. So 60% of the time I like being by myself, and 40% of the time I like socializing with people. And that majority of that socializing is forced socialization. So when I go to work, I have to speak to my coworkers, I have to speak to, customers and people like that. And then once every 2 weeks or once a week, I hang out with a friend, or I socialize with a friend or something, to catch up on memories or catch up on the day or how the week went. For me, that's my socializing. And then my 60% of the time, I'm by myself. I'm working on my own goals. I'm working on my own projects by myself. I'm able to have more fulfillment and contentment for me when I have this balance between the two. But you know, sometimes it's difficult to maintain those two skills. But I think over time, when you keep going through life, and you keep putting yourself through social situations, and you keep giving yourself time for yourself, eventually you'll be able to develop the skill to the point where you know how to balance it out. So you'll go like 70/30. So 70% maybe you're by yourself, 30% you're socializing. It could go like that. But it's important to not be excessive. Don't excessively socialize with people. Like 80 to 90% of the time you're out there always just talking to people. And then you barely have time for yourself. Or you do the opposite. You're like 90% of the time, like, you are just in your room, just doing your own thing. You rarely go out. The only time you go out is when you pick up your Uber Eats, your order from Uber Eats, right? Don't be like that, because the world has a lot to offer, and the world has a lot of beauty, and the people that you meet can be wonderful people. And I know a lot of us have been through really, really bad experiences with people in our life, like bad social experiences in our life that have caused us to be a certain way. Maybe a lot of us are introverted. We were extroverted before, but now we're introverted because people have hurt us in the past, you know? maybe we've been so introverted or alone all our lives that we've fed up, like we've just fed up with ourselves, like we now it's just time to go out there and just be out there and socializing, go out there and socialize. And as humans, we're meant to socialize, we're meant to be like that. And think about it, it's like people who go to like solitary confinement, bro, they go insane within the first like minute, by themselves with their thoughts. They go nuts. There's no stimulus. There's no stimulus around them, and they're in a dark room. Even people who live in forests by themselves, people who decide to go live in the middle of the Amazon or the forest or whatever, where like the closest village is like 100 kilometers away. A lot of people can't handle that, but they think they can, but they can't. A lot of people going through those situations, and they realize that social interaction is important. We're also meant to be in part of a community. We should have a good support system. It doesn't have to be a big community. It could be like maybe two or three people that check up on you every once in a while, or you check up on them once in a while. They don't have to necessarily be your close friends or loved ones, but you should be able to check up on people once in a while to make sure that they are okay. Just like, how are you? It doesn't have to, you don't have to go into too much detail, but it's important to at least you have that support system. You have that someone is looking out for you. Even people who live in Alaska or like in remote areas, a plane or they radio in for the towns, right? Someone from the town radios them every 2 weeks to ask them if they are okay, if they have enough food, if they have enough water to survive. So we need social interaction, and we can't completely avoid it. No matter how much we try, we can't completely avoid it in today's society, right? And socializing with people is also can prolong your life. I found it's been proven that people who live in Okinawa, in I forgot the name of the village, but the reason why a lot of these people, the centenarians who live up to over 100 years of age, when you ask them why, they say it's because of the social community that they have, that they're able to laugh with friends, that they're able to have, come together and talk about different memories that they've had in the past, and it creates emotion, it creates happiness, it creates joy, and it stimulates the brain. It prevents the brain from it reduces the chances of the people suffering from to get Alzheimer's and dementia, because you are constantly stimulating, you're constantly speaking with people. It stimulates the mind. And when we, just like anything, if we stop using it, it deteriorates. If we stop using our brain, it deteriorates. If we stop socializing as well, completely 100%, our brain starts to deteriorate. So that's why it's so important, man, to have that balance. Find your balance. I'm not saying it should be 50-50, you know, 60-60-40. Find the balance for you. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different social battery. Not everyone is the same. You know, for me, after maybe like I hang out with a friend or talk to a friend on the phone for maybe 20-30 minutes, and then I'm tired. Like I just want to go back to doing my own thing. That's just how I am. And the people around me respect that. The people that know me respect that. They respect that I tend to spend more time by myself than when than going out there and talking to so many people all the time. They value my respect. And the more you socialize with people, the more available you may seem, the higher chance you may get disrespected or you may get taken advantage of. It's a proven fact. There's no mystery about you. There's nothing, there's no sense of like, what is this guy gonna, there's predictability about you. We can predict your moves, you know, and it's unattractive to the opposite sex as well. It's also seems to be, it's not, there's nothing interesting about you. When you're always socializing with people, you're always out there, going out there and telling everybody what you're doing, and you're constantly just talking and talking and talking. But when you're by yourself and when you have that balance and you're working on yourself, people don't know what you're up to. Now you have a chance to be different. You have a chance to work on your goals. You have a chance for people to start pondering about what is this guy doing? What is this guy up to? I can't figure him out, right? But the thing is, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your own mental health. You're doing it for your own mental well-being by being by yourself, by being in solitude, by being a little bit antisocial at times. Anyways, I hope you found this video to be insightful. Thank you for watching.